It's a beautiful Wednesday evening in New York City. Big crowds outside the stadium. It's bobblehead night. Derek Jeter's final hit bobblehead was 10 years ago today against the Baltimore Orioles. And tonight, again, it is time for baseball as the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the New York Yankees against the Baltimore Orioles in the middle game of a three-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball, along with David Cohn and Paul O'Neill. I'm Michael K. Yankees lost last night 5-3, but a big loss today. Nestor Cortez goes on the IL. He was supposed to start tonight. Marcus Stroman will move in instead of Nestor, but Nestor is on the 15-day IL as the Yankees head to the playoffs. How does this affect them?
It's a big blow in my mind. He's such a versatile weapon, a lefty who could fill up the strike zone. He could have gotten a start in the postseason or been a multi-inning reliever and a real asset that's going to be a big blow in my mind.
Well, as we mentioned, the Yankees did lose 5-3 yesterday. They did not clinch the American League East. They could do it tonight. But last night, the 5-3 loss, we saw a little bit of the bad with Gleyber Torres, and there's been so much good of late.
Yeah, he really has turned his season around offensively. Mid-August, he became the leadoff hitter. September, he's hitting nearly 350. So Gleyber is swinging the bat well, and he's really filled up that leadoff spot. But every once in a while, you'll see it play. Fans on their feet, exciting part of the game, kind of indecisive here, not knowing what to do. These are the mistakes you cannot make, especially with the postseason coming really soon.
Well, he gets thrown out at third to end the inning, and on deck was Aaron Judge. So in September, Gleyber's been great offensively. 348 leads the American League, 13 ribbies, 16 runs scored. Now, defensively, 18 errors, third most in the American League, and he's made 6 outs at home, the same as Yandy Diaz, tied for the most in Major League Baseball. Obviously, the topic of discussion before the game, Nestor Cortez and going on the IL. Aaron Boone talks about that with Meredith Marakovitz when we return right here on Yes.
Visit linkedbylovetv.com.
Welcome back to the Bronx for Yankees baseball on Yes, where the Yankees once again have a chance to clinch the division with a win over the Orioles tonight. Hey everyone, I'm Meredith Marakovitz. As Michael mentioned, the Yankees pitching staff was dealt a blow today. Nestor Cortez was placed on the IL with a left flexor strain. I spoke with Nestor in the clubhouse just a short while ago, who told me he'll be shut down for at least 7 to 10 days. He'll also have a PRP injection during that time. He remains positive and optimistic that he'll make it back this year. However, that very well could depend how deep the Yankees go into the postseason. Either way, it is rough news for a guy that has meant so much to this Yankees staff throughout the course of this year.
Man, he's been throwing the ball so well too, obviously, and has put together a really good year. So, certainly feel for him right now, and just have to pick up the slack there and support him right now, and then see what we have over the next several days to just see exactly how he's responding and things like that.
Nestor also noted that his MRI was going to be sent to Dr. Neil Elitrosh and Dr. Keith Meister for second opinions. As of now, his understanding is that surgery could be avoided with some rest and some rehab. Certainly something to keep an eye on over the next couple of days. In the meantime, Cody Petit has been added to the roster. He'll be available out of the bullpen tonight. Plenty more to come here on the Yes Network. When we get back, Michael K. will be joined by Paul O'Neill and David Cohn. First pitch coming your way after the break.
Welcome back to Yankee Stadium, where a huge crowd is expected as the Yankees have a chance to clinch the American League East against the Orioles. Yankees have taken the field. Marcus Stroman taking his warm-ups, and we'll take a look at the Orioles starting lineup, brought to you by TikTok. Henderson, Westberg, and Santander, that's the top of the order. Then Cowser, Mountcastle, O'Hearn, the middle of the order. And Urias, Mullins, and McCann, that's the bottom of the order for the O's. And on the mound, Marcus Stroman. And for Marcus, this will be his 30th game and his 29th start. He's been a workhorse for them.
He has, and let's tell you a little bit more in our Nissan pitcher scouting report for Marcus Stroman, towing the slab and the boogie down here tonight. He's plugged back in. Wasn't sure if he's going to get another look or not this year. Now all of a sudden, here you are right in the middle of it, in a potential clincher. The team record in his 28 games started this year is 17-11, and earlier in August, he officially became a 10-year vet. That's always noteworthy. When you've been in this game, you understand what that means.
Let's take the defense presented by Defender, legendary capability off-road and on. Dominguez, Judge, and Soto left to right in the outfield. Infield, Chisholm, Volpe, Torres, and Rizzo. That's third to first. Stanton, the DH. Wells behind the plate, catching Marcus Stroman. Gunnar Henderson is ready. Marcus Stroman is ready. Let's do it here in the Bronx. First pitch is a strike, and we're underway. Carlos Torres, the home plate umpire. David Rackley at first. The crew chief, Chad Fairchild at second. Ryan Wills over at third. The Orioles had a celebration last night because they clinched the postseason berth with that win over the Yankees. They're 5 out with 5 games left to go behind the Yanks in the East. And the Yankees have a 2-game lead over the Guardians for the best record in the American League. Broken bat. One hopper out to Volpe. The throw to first. Not in time. Rackley said he beat it out.
I'm sure we'll take a look at this, but I mean, this is a good play by Volpe. It's just that Gunnar Henderson runs so well that once you go to your right as a shortstop, it's going to take a lot of time to get that ball across the field. Let's see what we see here. I think he's safe, huh?
So no challenge by the Yankees as Henderson picks up an infield single.
Just outran the throw.
Yep. The thing a lot of times though, when the shortstop playing with these shifts up the middle, they have to go to the right so much that it's really important arm strength.
Here's Westberg. Henderson a threat to go.
If you think about it, Gunnar Henderson, they're pretty much a threat to do everything on the baseball field. Hits home runs, hits for average, steals bases, 21 on the year. I mean, he's just one of the future stars in the American League.
And Stroman has been gettable. He's a little bit slow to home plate. You see a big lead right there. Well, the first times we've seen a slide step from Marcus Stroman right on cue. So nice adjustment.
He was part of that fiasco in Boston with the 9 stolen bases or something. I mean, you've got to fix it. I mean, a couple of stolen bases here or there, okay, but 9 in the game, you're going to pay for it sooner or later.
0-2. On deck, Santander hit his 40th home run, or his 100th ribby, and his 44th home run yesterday. Grounded to short and past Volpe, and it goes into center field. Looked like a double play ready to be, but it just scooted past Volpe for a hit. Time for the keys to the game, brought to you by your local Kia dealers.
Well, this is take 2. The celebration is on hold with the loss last night, but we'll see what happens tonight. And back in the mix, Coney, you talked about Stroman back in the rotation. I mean, with Nestor's injury, where do you go from here with him? And left field with a question mark. Who is the left fielder going to be? I mean, I think this homestand is going to tell Aaron Boone a lot between Dominguez and Verdugo and who's going to play in the playoffs.
You know, American Idol, huh?
Yeah, that's right. It's all on the line. Don't miss a note.
And the pitch to Santander is a strike.
Looks like that ball kind of jumped up on him, got over his glove. But Michael, you said if this ball's gloved, it looked like a possible double play. Marcus Stroman loves to keep the ball on the ground. That's what he does best. But both of these balls have found holes.
That one's over the leaping try of Volpe into center field. Henderson held up to see if it got to grass. It did, so the bases are loaded. 3 straight singles by the O's.
All right, Coney, so now you're pitching. You just take the mound. You've got 2 jam shots and a ball that kind of bounced over Volpe's glove, and now you've got bases loaded, nobody out, and you've made pretty good pitches.
Yes, and this is where a veteran presence on the mound can really help. And you don't panic. You don't try to strike everybody out. Try to get out of this maybe with 1 run given up if possible. Try to stay on the ground if you can. You do a double play for a run right here.
The pitch to Cowser is a strike.
Well, I'm still thinking about Cowser's home run last night. I mean, that went into a part of the ballpark that we haven't seen many go this year.
Yeah, this was last night, and you know, he knew he got it. Hamilton knew he got it, and again, that's a part of the ballpark that, Michael, you don't call see it very often.
No, and you don't get souvenirs up there. 1-1. Sky to left field. On the run is Dominguez into the corner, and he misplays the ball, and it falls in. Here comes the second runner, and he will score. And now Santander will go to third, and he's out. A great tag by Volpe. But it is 2-0 O's.
Well, you know what can happen as an outfielder is you get it in your head that all of a sudden, you know, you're going to struggle as an outfielder. He kind of overran that ball and just reached back, not really knowing the ballpark, but obviously a play that needs to be made. And obviously a play that he doesn't want to see Aaron Boone get in his mind too often.
Well, that is obviously an ongoing issue as we speak for Dominguez and playing the outfield and whether or not he's going to get a shot in postseason.
Well, there's a rough inning for Marcus Stroman. I don't know how much you could blame on him. Single and 2 RBIs. Runner at third is out 7-6, 2-6.
Dominguez mostly used to playing center field in the minor leagues. Certainly left field here at Yankee Stadium. A lot of ground to cover. Not a lot of experience. It shows up again tonight.
Again, it's just knowing where you are, and then you know the wind's kind of whipping a little bit, but he overran the ball, and then reaching back, your heart just starts pounding. And again, you just came off the West Coast trip where you read the papers, you hear about it. The worst thing you can do as a young player is get that kind of stuff in your mind.
Runner goes, throw not in time. Stolen base for Cowser.
Again, ball towards the first base, but you're teaching the catchers to do this year. But Cowser's just too good of a jump.
Yeah, big jump, big leg kick from Stroman. Not much of a chance there for Wells.
So here's Mountcastle.
Mountcastle just back in the lineup. Last night had a pinch hit and hit a bullet off of Meza. A guy that they really missed in their lineup. Big run producer, a lot of power.
Grounded up the middle and a base hit off the bat of Mountcastle. Here comes Cowser. He'll score. It's an RBI single from Mountcastle, and it's 3-0 O's.
If you're Marcus Stroman, you just got to really scratch your head. I mean, everything you're trying to do, keep the ball on the ground. Little breaking ball right here kind of spins and doesn't have much break. Mountcastle hits it hard enough to get it up the middle. And before you even get your feet wet there, Coney, on the first in the first inning, I'm sure you've been through this where you're not even comfortable yet, and you've given up 3 runs.
Murphy's Law inning for Stroman, and this is where the lack of ability to get swings and misses kind of rears its head a little bit too. You're relying on contact, and when the ball doesn't go at fielders, this is what you're faced with.
1-0 O'Hearn, and there's a base hit to right field. Mountcastle will stop at second as Soto jogs the ball in halfway and then flips it to Volpe. 6 hits and just 1 out. That out was made on the bases.
Another spinner, Coney. That ball's got to get in off the plate inside if you're trying to jam a lefty, especially with the right side kind of vacated. I mean, you just have such a big hole to hit through.
So Matt Blake goes out and talks with Stroman, and the Orioles celebrate in their dugout. And Cody Poteet, who was called up to replace Nestor on the 28-man roster, he's warming up. So 6 singles allowed to the first 6 batters. 1-0 on Urias. Two and 0. You know, we've seen Dominguez there, and I think most people agree he's going to be a star, likely a superstar. He's 21 years old. But his path through the Yankee system has been derailed by injuries. He has not gotten the reps in the outfield that you'd want him to have. He's better in center than he is in left. So it's hard to criticize him as an outfielder because it is what it is. Been hurt most of this year. Last year he did get some time in. That was good. But before that, some injuries as well. And he has started 11 of the 15 games since being recalled from the minors. He's a work in progress at 21.
Valid point.
Ground ball to Chisholm. He bobbles it, fires to second, not in time. The nightmare inning continues.
Coney, we need a mulligan here. If you're a Yankee fan, you need a mulligan to start this thing over.
These kind of innings, this is how it steamrolls, where it just carries over across the field. Players get a little tense. Everybody's trying to make a play. Get a little ahead of yourself. And Stroman can't catch a break.
He's out.
New York is challenging the ruling at second base.
This might be the first break that Stroman gets. He might get an out here at second base.
Now this challenge replay brought to you by Citizens Made Ready. Yeah, looks like he's out.
Yeah, that leg not extended, is going to cost him second base.
You can tell by the position of the second base umpire, you can't really see when the foot hits the bag from where he was.
After review, the call on the field is overturned. The runner is out. New York retains the challenge.
So O'Hearn out at second. Urias reaches on the fielder's choice. Now first and third with two outs here, Cedric Mullins. Chisholm in on the grass at third, guarding against a possible bunt. One and 0.
We saw the cool weather last night. There were some balls hit way out of the ballpark, but if you look at a couple of the at-bats Mullins hit, I thought they were way out off the bat. Both of them going to the warning track. A little bit cooler. Ball doesn't quite carry as much.
Well, let's check out what the weather is. Game time weather presented by Bigelow, the official hot tea of the Yankees. 65 degrees, feels like 59. 41% chance of rain, 81% humidity. The wind is blowing from right field to left field. Two and 1.
I'm glad it's dark, Michael. So you said 41% rain. If it's dark, you can't read the clouds. We're just going to have to take it at that.
We're going to root for the 59%?
Yeah.
All right.
I don't like the underdog in this one. I'll just root for the winner. No rain.
2-1. Grounded to first. Grabbed there by Rizzo, and that'll do it. Rough inning. A lot of bad luck, but a rough inning. 6 hits. The Orioles score 3. They lead 2. In the top of the first against Stroman, giving Zach Eflin a nice advantage. Getting ready to come up to the plate is Gleyber Torres. We'll take a look at the entire Yankees starting lineup brought to you by TikTok. Gleyber leads off, then Juan Soto in right, Aaron Judge in center. Middle third of the order, cleaning up Austin Wells, Giancarlo Stanton the DH, Jazz Chisholm Jr. is at third. And the bottom third, Jason Dominguez in left field, Anthony Rizzo at first, and Anthony Volpe, the shortstop, will bat ninth. And they're going to face the veteran righty, Zach Eflin, 28th start. He's 10-9 with a 3.53 ERA.
Well, we'll tell you a little bit more in our Pitcher Scouting Report brought to you by Nissan and cuts like a knife. His cut fastball, really good. His best pitch, it's got a plus 14 run value. That's in the top 4 in the major leagues among all cut fastballs. Impeccable control. 2.9% base on ball rate this year is the very best in the Major League Baseball, both leagues. And his Yankee history on 3 different teams, 8 games started, a 2.11 ERA.
Cuts like a knife, little Brian Adams from old school.
There you go. Yes.
Torres digs in, hitting .348 in 21 games in September. Shows bunt, takes a strike on the outside corner. Eflin came over to the Orioles from the Rays on July 26th. And in 8 starts with the Orioles, 2.31. Numbers very good. Let's check out the defense presented by Defender, legendary capability off-road non. Cowser in left, Mullins in center, Santander over and right. In the infield, Urias, Henderson, Westberg, and Mountcastle with McCann behind the plate. Yankees come in at 92 and 65. Grounded. Foul. Ryan Wills, the third base umpire, called it foul.
You see this Orioles lineup, it kind of gives you a sense of what Brandon Hyde's thinking. This is probably their A lineup right here. Young Jackson Holiday on the bench. Westberg's back. Urias is back. Westberg can play third or second, so he's at second. Urias at third. This is probably their A-game lineup, even though Jackson Holiday, a lot of talent like Jason Dominguez, maybe not quite ready for prime time.
Fly ball right field. Santander with the catch. Let's check out Carlos Torres, the home plate umpire. He's hitter-friendly, fewer inside strikes, and he calls fewer low strikes. He's in his 10th Major League season.
It's funny, we put those scouting reports on the umpires, on the graphics, Coney, but in your mind as a pitcher, when you pitch, you had that in your mind. You knew what umpires would give you pitches. You knew what umpires you had to throw across the plate, right?
Absolutely, you knew, and you find out early, too. You know, our strike zone was more east and west back in the 90s, certainly more north and south nowadays.
1-1 on Soto.
Say one exception on that Baltimore Orioles lineup. Rushman would obviously be behind the plate catching, but in the field, probably what you're looking at is as their lineup.
You know, if you're Brandon Hyde, you've been waiting for this lineup too. You've had injuries where you've got like 3 guys back in the last week or so. Mountcastle, Urias is back, Westberg back. I mean, these are guys that helped you throughout the year.
They did receive some bad news before the game. Grayson Rodriguez, such an important starter for them, is going to miss the entire postseason, they said. They were hoping to get him back, but that doesn't look like it's going to happen.
Yeah, that's a big blow. Frontline starter stuff.
(3-1), and Soto walks. That'll bring up Aaron Judge, cooking up something special with Hexclad. Now, this is the most home runs against the Orioles since 1954. A-Rod had 44, Mickey had 44, Aaron's one behind, and Posada with 30. Join the hybrid revolution at hexclad.com. Speak.
Was one bright spot last night. Was Aaron Judge, number 56.
He's homered in 3 straight games. He's been sitting on 18 first-inning home runs, and that's tied with Alex Rodriguez for the most in a season in Major League history. 1-1. 2-1. Three and one on Judge. And way outside, Judge walks.
This is kind of your way of pitching, Coney. I'm just not going to give in to a couple hitters. If the other guys beat me, they beat me. But
Yes.
It's not going to be Soto and Judge here in the first inning.
Yeah, I think it's non-competitive pitch right there, way off the plate.
Pitch outside to Wells. Wells, he's 4 for his last 37. That's 108. Been catching a lot when Trevino was on the IL. And you wonder, is he a little bit fatigued and has to get through that wall? But he is so important to what the Yankees do, because if you are pitching around Soto and Judge, a lot of the responsibility lies on Wells at the cleanup spot.
And if you looked at this lineup, why it's gotten longer and better recently, and they've been playing much better baseball, especially recently. It's Wells going to the 4-hole, and it's Gleyber going into the leadoff spot. It has really helped the lineup.
Well, as Joan Cohen used to say, he's due.
I think of that every time somebody's due. No, I think of Joan Cohen.
Yep. A 2-0 pitch. Pretty good opportunity right here.
2-1.
That's where the cutter becomes so, you're sitting dead fastball, and the cutter looks like a fastball, but if it's thrown correctly, look, it just ends up just off the plate inside and just ties him up. Lucky he pulled it foul.
Great shot there, just moving off the barrel of the bat.
Grounded to third. There's one. And there's two. A 5-4-3 inning-ending double play. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left. We go to the second. Live at Same Game Parlay. New FanDuel customers can get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app today. Now we go to the second inning. It's 3-0 O's. A rough first inning for the Yankees as Stroman gave up 6 hits. And a misplay in the field by Jason Dominguez that was not scored in E7, but was a 2-run single. A ball he should have caught. And the count 1-0 on McCann. It'll be 9-1-2 in the O's order. Fouled away.
It's one of those things that always got me, Paulie. If it hits his glove, it's an error.
Yeah.
But if you make even a worse play and you whiff on it, it's a hit.
Totally whiff it. Yep.
Two and one. Paul, easier to play center or a corner outfield spot?
Well, with speed, it's easier to play center. You get a much better view and a much better read. Most of the balls are, fairly straight. Where corner outfielders, you get a lot of side spin depending on their right or left-handed hitter. So, like I said, to play center field, you need to have a decent amount of speed. But the corner outfielders have a lot more action on the ball when it comes off the bat.
That one just missed. 3-2.
I'd say the easiest time was to play right field was like Andy Pettit. He's pitching. He's a cutter ball. You don't see plays. Easy play for Gleyber right here. Mariano. I mean, Mariano, when he came into the game as a right fielder, you know you're not getting the ball. It's just the way it is. And you look back at Dominguez, and this is what happened on the road trip. And, you know, you factor in the sun here. But then all of a sudden it gets in your mind as an outfielder. You know, you can go in slumps defensively just like you can offensively. And you just hate to see that seed planted in a young kid's mind that I'm not a good outfielder. But I tell you one thing, I'd be out here tomorrow taking every ball I could off the bat live in left field.
And guys, I actually spoke to Dominguez after those two kind of mishaps there in Seattle. The one during the day game, he said he lost that in the sun. That happens at times as a fielder. But the one that you saw him as he was getting close to the wall, kind of putting his hand out, he said he was just unsure of the dimensions of the park. He thought he didn't have as much room as he had, and he called it all a work in progress. And you kind of saw the same thing here in left field, not exactly knowing what the dimensions were perhaps out there in left field. And guys, that only comes with reps. Unfortunately, not a lot of time left in this season to get those reps.
2-1 to Henderson. And therein lies a very, very difficult decision that the Yankees have to make for the postseason. Verdugo's clearly a better left fielder. Dominguez is clearly a better hitter. So what are you going to go with in the postseason? You're going to go with the hitting, or you're going to go with the fielding? That's what they have to decide.
Yeah, these games are going to matter a lot if you're Jason Dominguez on how you swing the bat.
Henderson with another base hit.
Again, kind of a two-seamer. He turned over, and it it just stays up high enough where Henderson can really just drop the barrel on it and line it into right center field. A change-up, and it just turned it over. But you've got too much height on that pitch.
It's a big inning for Stroman to get a goose egg on there. Already 3 runs on the board.
I would imagine, Coney, it's almost as like I got to get through 1 inning just to get a little confidence, and then I might be okay to get through 4 or 5.
In Scranton this year, Dominguez 28 starts in center field. Did have 11 in left field. So they did give him some reps out there, but a big difference in the stadium and the dimensions, to Meredith Marakovitz's point, which is right on, spot on as usual. Whole different thing up here with the big upper deck. And I think you could kind of see why the Yankees were sort of a little reticent at first. Wait a minute, are we going to, at this point in the season, do we just throw him in left field, replace Verdugo? Dominguez obviously more comfortable in center field. Do you move Judge to left field and put Dominguez in center field? I mean, it's a quandary for the Yankees to figure out.
1-2 on Westberg.
I think if you're thinking about moving Aaron Judge, I mean, then you've got a lot of moving parts. Now you're moving a young kid to center field, and you're moving Aaron Judge, who's played center field pretty much all year. So that'd be very tough for me to look at just for, the short amount of time that you have before the playoffs.
Runner goes, throw to second, got him. But Henderson points to the dugout that they should take a look.
Well, and I'm sure they will. We'll take a look too, but a good pitch to throw on if you're Wells. And again, throw it up the line a little bit, give Gleyber an opportunity, and I think he's out. And that's kind of the new way of catching, Coney. I don't know if you've noticed it. They're intentionally throwing the ball up the baseline where you get that tag down before they get to the base.
That's exactly right. That is what we've seen across the league. It makes sense. Wells, so much better defensively than he was ever given credit for coming up.
3-2. Swing and a miss. Westberg down on strikes. No runs a hit. Nobody left on base. We go to the bottom of the second. 3-0 O's. For Pinstripe Pride, brought to you by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicles of the Yankees. Tonight's picture was submitted by William. He and his boys recently had a great day together in the Bronx. Use the hashtag Toyota Pinstripe Pride. Mention yes in pictures that you post to social media to reflect your love for the Bronx Bombers. We might spotlight you in a future game.
No guarantees, Michael. We might spot them.
Might.
Yeah.
There's no guarantees in life. Well, maybe a couple.
Couple we don't want to talk about.
That's
right
right
now.
Here's Stanton against Eflin. 1-0. So, David, I need to get your take on this. He's traded from the Rays to the Orioles on July 26th. And the Rays pitching coach, who's an excellent pitching coach, Kyle Snyder, reaches out to the Orioles pitching coach, Drew French, to help with the transition. They played the Orioles a couple weeks later, and Eflin shut out the Rays. I mean, I know about being nice, but does that make sense?
Old school, no. Definitely not. Wait, you ever reach out and help Bob Lorenz out? Or
He's on my team.
if he got traded to the Orioles, would you
No, I'd never talk to him again.
You wouldn't even take a call from Vin Scully if you called him.
No, that's different.
All right. I just check.
Ryan Ruocco? Ryan Ruocco gets traded.
He's on my team.
If he got traded, you...
No. I know it makes me sound terrible, but I mean,
no, it's
can you imagine if Art Fowler did that? George Steinbrenner would fire him before the phone call's over. Oh, and 1 on Chisholm.
Billy Martin would get mad if he even talked in the outfield to the opposing players. You know, no fraternizing. Take him out to dinner. You know.
I still don't like that. There's just something wrong about that. You know, if you're friends and stuff, fine. They'll talk to each other after the game, not out at center field before the game starts.
Popped up. Suit up this season at MLBshop.com. Check out the largest selection of official jerseys, caps, T-shirts, collectibles, and more. Gear up with your Yankees at MLBshop.com. Listen, I can't swear to anything, but I don't think Matt Blake would do it. I don't think he'd be allowed to do it.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I mean, there's professional courtesy, so how much information was exchanged, you know, certainly we don't know for sure. But, yeah, your point is valid, Michael.
And Snyder is close with French and Eflin, so he said he didn't hesitate doing it. Dominguez fouls the bat.
I'll tell you, after you make an error or a play you should have made, obviously Dominguez the ball down left field, the first thing you want to do is go have a good at bat, make something good happen, try to change the mind of everybody.
That one is ripped into center field, and running it down is Mullins. Dominguez really hit that one.
Yeah, I was watching him take batting practice today at the cage, and it's amazing how quick his bat is. And, you know, with the speed of his bat, you're going to hit a lot of balls hard.
Here's Rizzo, 429 on base percent his last 5 games. One and 0. Three-plus walks in 2 of 28 starts this season, both of them against the Yankees. He has 3 here already in the second.
Yeah, but you look at that first inning, and Coney and I were talking. I mean, those walks to Soto and Judge were almost intentional. It's just like, I'm not throwing anything close here. I got behind in the count, took his chances, and got the double play and got out of it.
Yeah, veteran pitcher on the mound, knows what he's doing.
Three and 1.
Of Tony, the weird things you notice, you know how white that ball is? You probably would have hated that. You know, I hated a dark ball. The umpires would really rub up real dark. You couldn't see the seams as well. Those look like they're right out of the box.
Absolutely. And if it touches the ground, it's out.
Yep.
Fourth walk issued by Eflin. Now I asked Jeff Nelson, as you see pitchers throw out balls, why would you throw out a ball? What would be the thing that you'd say, I don't want this?
You know, sometimes two balls feel the same, maybe the seams, or sometimes it's just, just OCD, too.
I tell you come out for batting practice, to Coney's point, every once in a while you grab a ball and it feels like it feels like a softball. It's just bigger. And then some balls felt real small with seams. It felt like you could really throw hard.
You know, and they are still manually rubbed up by hand. So that's when I say no two balls are the same. Some have a little different look to them or feel.
That one is up the middle and through for a base hit. Volpe gets a single. Here comes Stanton. He'll score. Moving to third is Rizzo. It's an RBI single from Volpe, and the Yankees on the board. It's 3-1 O's.
Well, these are the important hits. The 2 outs with runners in scoring position. Anthony Volpe hits it hard, gets it by Henderson, and immediately the Yankees seems like right back into the game after that long first inning, just out of the reach of Henderson. Big run for the Yankees.
'60th ribby for Anthony Volpe.
A little slick over there, huh?
Yeah. He saw the overthrow, so he thought about it.
So Yankees get one of the runs back. Here's Torres, first and third, 2 outs. Fly ball, right center. Santander is there to put it away for the final out. 1 run, 1 hit, 2 walks, and 2 men left. Yes is brought to you in part by Defender. Legendary capability off-road and on. Explore the full Defender lineup at LandRoverUSA.com. By Amtrak. Book Amtrak Flex Fares for worry-free travel. Learn more at Amtrak.com/FlexFares. By FanDuel. New FanDuel customers can get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. And by Hyundai, with a brand new Hyundai, there's joy in every journey. Some pretty good players who wore both uniforms.
Yeah.
Saw Moose this year down at the Little League World Series Classic. He lives down there in Montoursville and looks great.
He's a golfer now, right? I heard he's a big-time golfer.
Yeah, he's a single-digit handicapper is what he said.
He outthinks everybody. He's one of those smart guys. Saw that picture of Rick Dempsey. He was the backup catcher for Thurman, right?
Yeah. Oh and 1 on Santander.
Also saw Tippy Martinez, and Coney, I don't know if you, I think I read that he picked off 3 guys in an inning. All 3 outs were pickoffs.
So he pitched around him and picked him off.
That's right. I mean, Andy Pettit had a great move, probably the best I've ever seen. But I never saw him pick off 3 guys in an inning.
No. He breaks some ankles over there, though.
Yeah. I'll never forget in the World, I think it was a World Series where Tino snuck in behind Piazza. And from right field, you get such a good angle because you see the sign and you see Tino starting to inch over. And those are just huge outs. Pickoffs at first base.
All right. Who gives the sign on that you can see it in right?
I mean, I saw Tino kind of flap with his glove move me over in case there's an overthrow. So I figured something was on.
Fly ball, left center and deep. And Dominguez runs it down. 1 away.
You know, it's funny you asked that, Michael, because everybody just assumes that, you know, the catchers are the one that has everything going on in their mind about directing track. First baseman, at least the ones I was fortunate to play with, really had a lot to do with, you know, things. Manning used to, you know, show me when a changeup was coming where you could move a couple steps one way. Tino would always look and kind of move you one way or another, or tell you, you know, when an off-speed pitch was coming. So almost like a catcher's mentality at first base.
1-0 to Cowser. Grounded to Rizzo. Flips to Stroman. I mean, you have to be pretty sneaky giving that sign because the first base coach is right there, too. He can't see it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he had a very, very private sign to pet it. But,
right.
you know, he would kind of motion to me behind his back with something, you know, to move towards the line in case of an overthrow or, you know, certain things he would tell me off-speed pitches once in a while.
You know this was all going on behind your back, David?
Every time I looked over my shoulder, he's working on a swing in right
yeah.
field.
Tino had to give me signs in between my cuts out there in right field.
Mountcastle grounds one to Volpe. The throw is high and over the head of Rizzo. That'll be an E6 on Volpe.
I was going to say it's a very easy inning, and then Stroman really needs it. But then all of a sudden, Anthony Volpe, see if he kind of bobbles it or no, just didn't get a good grip and just kind of airmailed it.
A rare overthrow from Volpe. He usually goes one hop more than this. He tried to add a little extra, and you're right. I don't think he quite had the grip.
So the ball went into the camera well, so it's 2 bases. Pitch to O'Hearn is outside.
You get in the mindset there, Coney. You got 2 outs, you get in a ground ball, you just turn it off. And then all of a sudden, oh, now I got a man in scoring position. Hard to turn back on.
Yeah, no, it's aggravating. No doubt out there, especially the way this game has gone.
Fly ball, left field. Dominguez puts it away, and that'll do it. No runs, no hits, 1 error, and 1 man left on base. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. Here's a fully electric Audi vehicle at your local Tri-State Audi dealer today. Hey, it's a thrill to clinch. Imagine clinching on a game-ending triple play. That's what the Padres did yesterday behind Robert Suarez to beat the Dodgers. Pretty amazing ending to the game.
What a play by Manny Machado. I mean, you know, to me, one of the smoothest third basemen I think I've ever seen. Manny, just gifted.
Juan Soto will lead off the bottom of the 3rd. 3-1-0s. One and one on Soto, who walked in the 1st inning.
There's a different scenario here. You know, you've got nobody out. Now it's going to be very hard for Eflin to pitch around Soto and Judge as he did in the 1st inning.
Oh, a strike call. Soto was trying to sell that as ball 3.
It's a razor blade little cutter, 91 miles an hour. Look how late that movement is, right at the bottom of the zone.
The 2-2. Still 2-2.
That's what makes his cutter so successful, is that he can throw it to both sides of the plate. Excellent command, generally speaking. That's a hard thing to do, to master. Mariano Rivera mastered it when he started throwing his cutter all the time to both sides of the plate.
Soto has great numbers against Eflin. 17 for 34. 4 doubles, 2 home runs, and 6 walks. And he strikes out.
He followed those cutters early in the count with a bigger breaking ball, and then this one actually goes down. A little less velocity, but see the different spin and the bigger break. Got a swing and a miss.
Yep, about 80 miles an hour. You see Soto out in front.
Here's Judge. He walked in the first inning. Hot shot to second. Right there is Westberg. 2 down. That's 115.2 off the bat.
I was going to say that's just another average ground out, about knocked the second baseman over. But Aaron Judge, I mean, if you're Eflin, you just got to take a big, deep breath. You just got Soto and Judge out here leading off the inning.
There's Austin Wells wrapped into a 5-4-3 inning-ending double play in the first. One and 0. In the third inning, Orioles lead the Yankees 3-1. Sky into left field. Cowser is there. And that'll do it as the Yankees go down in order. 1, 2, 3. Name That Yankee brought to you by Prevagen, the #1 pharmacist recommended memory support brand. This is a tough one. 53 wins, 4.52 ERA, 542 strikeouts with the Yankees from 91 through 96. Then the Orioles, the then Indians, and the Braves. 91 to 96.
Connie, we should know this. What's up?
He was a teammate and we played against him. World Series ring.
Obviously a reliever with 53 wins.
Yeah.
Came up as a starter, I'm told. Lined into right field. It's a base hit. That's the 8th hit for the Orioles. That'll bring up Mullins. One and 0. Two and 0. Did you see this this note on this date back in 1965? Satchel Paige,
Yeah.
at 59 years old, started a game for the Kansas City A's against the Red Sox. 3 innings of shutout, 1-hit ball. Grounded up the middle and threw for a base hit from Mullins. As Urias will go to third. Could you have done that, David, at 59?
I was getting a hip replacement at 59.
So you were in that same rocking chair that he was sitting in the bullpen with.
Clayton Beeter is warming for the Yanks. 9 hits in 3+ innings against Stroman. So how long do they stay with him? As Beeter getting ready in a hurry.
Last inning looked so easy. The ground balls were at people. And again, here you go. Base hit. Now another ground ball finds a hole. It's just the way sinker ball pitchers are. You said it earlier, Coney. It's just kind of the luck of the draw. And, you know, most sinker ball pitchers, you get the choppers. And, you know, some of these balls have been hit just a little bit harder today, and they're finding holes.
Runner goes, and they don't throw, so a stolen base from Mullins. That takes away the double play, the conventional one.
Yeah, it's a smart play from Mullins, his 31st stolen base of the year, and it does. I mean, Marcus Stroman's looking for a ground ball here. Now you're going to have to kind of play the infield pretty much halfway, almost in, to try to cut off that run on a hard hit ground ball.
Lined right at Torres. One down.
Game makes no sense, Coney. The ground balls are finding holes, and then the bullet goes right at Gleyber, huh?
Random variance. If you're Marcus Stroman, you kind of feel like you were owed that one out there, right?
Yeah. Well, Gunnar Henderson, one of the top guys in the league, obviously, but one thing he does do is strike out, 150 plus strikeouts. So if you can work this count to your favor and get 2 strikes, you've got a chance.
Henderson 2 for 2. Yankee infield remains in. Urias at third. Mullins is at second. It's 3-1 O's. Two and 0. Base hit up the middle. That'll score 2. Henderson's 3 for 3. The Orioles lead 5-1.
Yeah, with that infield in, that up the middle is wide open. And you can watch Henderson. He almost guides this ball right up the middle. 2 RBIs, and a big 2 RBIs for the Orioles. Aaron Boone heading to the mound here to grab Marcus Stroman.
And that's going to do it. So Stroman, filling in for the injured Nestor Cortez, leaves with a 5-1 deficit. And they'll call on Clayton Beeter against Jordan Westburg with a runner on first. 1 man out. Yankee fans, catch all the action at Yankee Stadium. 2024 postseason tickets and 2025 individual game tickets. They're on sale now. Experience October baseball and beyond. Visit Yankees.com/tickets today. Now, the postseason were to begin today. This is the way it would work. The winner of the Orioles and the Royals would play the Yanks in the ALDS. Tigers and the Astros would play the Guardians. And then the National League, Diamondbacks, Brewers would play the Phils, and the Mets and the Padres would play the Dodgers. But the season doesn't end today. It ends on Sunday. And for the Mets and the Braves, it might end on Monday.
Wow. What a mess, huh?
Oh, just the worst. It's a bad scene for both teams because the wild card starts the next day and you have to play a doubleheader. Clayton Beeter, you see what he's done in the minors. 56 strikeouts in 39 innings. He throws hard. Now, he was shut down in the minors. His shoulder was barking, but he worked his way back and really opened some buys toward the end of his stint at AAA, and they called him up. And here he is in a spot against the O's. 0-2 on Westburg. Strike 3 on a slider.
Now this is why he's up here, because he can miss bats or get strikeouts like that. And he does throw hard, Michael, but he's got that right over the top breaking ball. Watch this one, just locks up Westburg. That's right down the middle.
Yeah, that's a breaking ball that you used to see a lot of. Now everybody's kind of going to the cutter and the slider, but you know, when you throw that over the top fastball, that over the top curveball can really fool the hitter because it comes from the same spot.
Yankees got Beeter from the Dodgers in the Joey Gallo trade. Here is Santander. He impressed the Yankees in spring training as well. Now, he's the starter by trade. You know, he was starting in spring training, but his stuff plays as a short reliever too because of the swing and miss ability of it.
Exactly, and that's why the Yankees wanted to get a look at him.
Now, coincidentally, the game that opened his eyes or opened the Yankees' eyes about him was in spring training in Clearwater. Pitched great. And in that same game, that's the game that they said wow about Luis Gil. He also pitched very well in that game. 0-2. 1-2. Well, out-of-town score brought to you by Defender, legendary capability off-road and on. Guardians lead the Reds 2-0. Top of the 7th inning. Guardians 2 games behind the Yankees for best record in the AL. And the Yankees' magic number to clinch that AL top seed is 3. So combination of wins by the Yanks or Guardian losses. That one is wrapped to right field. On the run is Soto. He can't make the play, and it's up against the wall. Henderson rounds third. He's coming home, and the throw is not in time. It's a double for Santander, and the Orioles lead 6-1.
I think Juan Soto kind of jumped early. I think he thought he had a beat on this ball. I think it was a hanging breaking ball. Looked like he had it, and I think he just left his feet a little bit too early and kind of misjudged it. Didn't come down with it, just off the end of his glove. But first things first, I mean, it was a curveball that kind of just hung right over the middle of the plate. Threw a good one to Santander early in the count and got a swing and a miss.
Popped up and out of play. One and one on Cowser.
This is what you call a lawn dart.
Yeah, that's what you call a stab and a good there pick. Wow.
95 miles an hour, about 49 feet.
One and two. Orioles have 11 hits. Yankees 1 run on 1 hit. And that one's cracked into right center field. It's a base hit. Soto has the ball get by him, backing up his Judge. That'll allow Cowser to go to second. Santander scores easily, and it's 7-1. Orioles, and the crowd does not like what it's seeing.
Well, these last balls have been hit hard. Juan Soto's not going to be able to throw Cowser out at second anyway, but he got no problem staying on top of that high fastball. He's just going to slide into it to knock it down, but it did get through. Aaron Judge right there. It's going to be a sure double anyway.
An impressive swing to get on top of that pitch. Look at how high it is. Letter high. You got to be level, right, to get that one and get a line drive out of that height.
Here's Mountcastle against Beater. 1-0. One and one. Big cut. 1-2. Two and two.
It's almost like that breaking ball has so much break, Coney. You really can't use the bottom of the strike zone with it. Everything is high because, you know, it's got so much break.
Yeah, coming from that release point right over the top.
And that's tipped into the glove of Wells. Mountcastle down on strikes. Orioles add 4 more. They're up 7-1. TikTok for exclusive behind-the-scenes content, game highlights, and the latest Yankees news. Don't miss out. Join the ultimate sports community today. Go to the bottom of the 4th. 7-1 Orioles. Giancarlo Stanton will lead off. There's a strike. Stanton walked and scored the Yankees run in the 2nd inning. Scored on a Volpe single. And the 0-2. 1-2. Stanton, Chisholm, and Dominguez. Grounded foul. So, Paul, the Yankees, we assume, will win the American League East. So they will not play until the ALDS. As a hitter, can you stay sharp?
Yeah,
having 5 days off? Slow roller up the third baseline. And they get Stanton for the first out.
You know, it's not an ideal situation. It really isn't. I think that, you know, if you need a break mentally or physically, obviously it's great. But, you know, if you end the season feeling good, the last thing you want to do is sit and wait 4 or 5 days. I know from Coney, I don't ever remember a pitcher that would take extra time to your advantage like you did. So it can really help pitchers. I think it's very hard on hitters, especially guys that are swinging the bat well.
Yeah, it's all about the pitching. The pitching will take the time. You can get your pitching in order. You can get some guys healthy that might need some extra time.
And remember, the team that you're playing will have just played a wild card round, so they'll be sharper. And that's the one flaw in this playoff system, that you're almost penalizing the teams that finish with the best record. So you get the bye, which everybody wants, but if you come in flat, you know, it takes 2 games to get back. You're one away from, you know, being eliminated.
Now, with that being said, they have the high-speed pitching machines
Yes.
now, and the Traject machine that kind of simulates Major League pitching. You can plug in anybody you want in these new Project, kind of like a golf simulator almost, and you can face 100 miles an hour if you want.
It's really amazing, and I'm starting to see it show up in pinch hitters. I mean, pinch hitters are regular hitters now. I mean, if you look at the pinch hit numbers for the Orioles this year, they're over 300. And, you know, in the old days, to have a decent at bat as a pinch hitter, you were happy.
And Eflin beats Chisholm to the bag for the 2nd out. How much does a long layoff hurt a starting pitcher?
You know, as long as, you know, I'll take the extra rest every time. You know, you can do a simulated game. You could get the rough edges worn off. Certainly, you could face your own team in simulated games here at home in the layoff. So, generally speaking, after a long season like you've had, the extra rest should be a benefit for pitchers, generally.
Because if Garrett Cole pitches tomorrow as he's scheduled, well, his next game would be game 1 of the ALDS. That's a long layoff. That's over a week. That one is wrapped to right field. And Dominguez retired. Yankees go down in order. Eflin is retired 7 in a row. We go to the 5th. October, Brooklyn Nets basketball is back on Yes as Nick Claxton and Cam Thomas lead a new squad into a new season. Yes, we got Nets starting October 14th with a preseason game against the Washington Wizards right here on Yes. You see where the Barclays Center is? If Robert Moses had allowed Walter O'Malley to build his retractable roof stadium at that spot, then the Dodgers would never be in LA. That's where O'Malley wanted to build that stadium. And Moses wanted him to build it in Queens. And he said, we're the Brooklyn Dodgers, we're not the Queens Dodgers. And he started investigating and ended up going to L.A.
I mean, there's a lot of people still over there, Michael, that remember 1958, right, when they moved out to L.A.?
Yes.
Wow. Talked the Giants into going with them, right? You needed some.
Need a friend out there?
A friend out there out west.
O'Hearn pops it up. And also another impressive part of that, I mean, we talk retractable dome like, oh, okay. That wasn't a thought then, and he thought of that, and he was going to put that at that spot. But Robert Moses really ran the city. He said no.
I think the Atlanta Braves wish they had a retractable dome right about now. Right?
Yeah,
the weather,
telling me.
A hurricane heading their way.
Pitch to Arias is a strike. Beater actually broke camp with the Yankees. He had one major league appearance. Was back on May 29th. He closed out a win in Houston. A 3-pitch, 1-2-3 inning. Retired Altuve, Alvarez, and Tucker. Grounded to third. The long throw. Two-way. Beater missed 4 months with a shoulder injury. And then the 5 games in the minors, he went 7 innings, 2 hits, and 12 strikeouts. Now Cody Poteet getting ready. One and 0. You know, if they had allowed O'Malley to build that stadium there, we would have heard all 67 years of Vin Scully.
That's the way you think of it?
Yeah.
About Vin Scully, right?
We would have seen prime Sandy.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. I was listening to your interview today on your radio show, and they're talking about the Tommy John surgery, and it didn't. I mean, Sandy Koufax retired at what, like 31 or something like that? I mean, if that would have been around, who knows? Well,
this is the 50th anniversary of Tommy John surgery, and Dr. Frank Jobe, who performed it, was at an event that Sandy Koufax was at, and he apologized to Sandy. He said, if I had come up with this, he said, you would have pitched. You would have been able to pitch. But Sandy had to retire. He was in such extreme pain. Now, speaking of elbows, let's take a look at tonight's injury report brought to you by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. Nestor was placed on the 15-day IL today, left elbow flexor strain. The guy that's warming up in the bullpen, Cody Poteet, recalled from AAA. Nestor pitched really well. He said he started to feel something when he came in the relief outing against the Cubs at Wrigley, but he had been great since then. And then on Sunday, he told the athletic trainers that he was feeling it barking. And so they ran some tests, and here he is on the IL. Runner goes. The throw to second is not in time. Stolen base.
And Michael, I actually spoke to Nestor Cortez in the clubhouse today, and he said he's kind of been having some issues with it off and on throughout the course of the season, but it would hurt maybe a start or two, and then it would go away. And throughout the course of the season, you never really feel 100% as a pitcher. Coney, I'm sure you could attest to that as you get another look at that stolen base right there. And he said it wasn't until after the start in Seattle where the recovery just didn't feel right. It got progressively and progressively harder. He went to throw his bullpen in Oakland, and after that, he knew something was wrong. He spoke to the training staff, and he tried to throw one more time just to be sure, but he didn't think he'd be able to give him 100 pitches today, which is part of the reason he went for that MRI. He didn't want to leave the team high and dry without a starter coming into today. He told me he'll be shut down 7 to 10 days. He'll get a PRP injection, and he's also going to get second opinions from Dr. Keith Meister and Neil Elatrash. So something to keep an eye on with Nestor Cortes. He's still trying to stay positive and optimistic that he may make it back this year, but certainly time not on his side, guys.
Tough break for him, tough break for the Yankees because of the way he was pitching.
He's throwing exceptionally well and was very versatile. Could be used in a lot of different ways by Aaron Boone moving forward.
And while he was diagnosed with a flexor strain, I think it is important to note his UCL is intact, so that is not an issue.
But that base hit by McCann is as it scores Mullins, and now it's 8-1 Orioles.
Yeah, 13 hits from the Orioles so far. Aaron Boone heading out there again. I mean, this game's getting out of hand at 8-1. Not hit hard, just off the end of the bat. Then another one. He finds a hole.
By that much. So he's going to take the ball from Beater. He's going to call on Poteet. Runner on first. 1 run in, 2 outs. Yankees losing this one. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Amtrak. Book Amtrak Flex Fares for worry-free travel. Learn more at Amtrak.com/flexfares. By Buick. Visit your local Tri-State Buick dealers. And by the New York Lottery. Get out there and play. Two pretty fair shortstops right there, both of them in Cooperstown.
I remember being in Camden Yards that night, Coney, that he broke up, broke the streak. And we were all sitting there hearing the rumors that it was going to happen, and it did.
Ripken was a big dude. You know, 6'4", about 220, 230.
Well, his success kind of cleared the way for guys like Jeter and A-Rod, who were tall players, to play shortstop rather than third.
I'll never forget, I used to go in and work out. In the old days, you would go work out after the game, and you had to work, wait like a half an hour to get in the to weight room of the team. So I went in there after a night game in the middle of the streak. I mean, he had played thousands in a row already. And I walk in to lift, and he's running the treadmill. I mean, he not only played the game, he went in and ran the treadmill afterward. Just needed a little extra work.
One, two. Two and two.
Ever remember a player of his caliber, that good, a Hall of Famer, did everything, that would just fiddle with his stance and the way he would come to the ballpark every day with a different stance during a series?
He really did.
Wasn't Mattingly like that?
He would change little. I mean, Ripken would open up, would close up, look with his hands. I mean, it was like a different hitter every single time you faced
wiffle ball in the backyard,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Two. Lined into center field. Judge is there and reaches up to make the play for the final out. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 man left. We're halfway through. It's 8-1 Orioles. And on Yes, the Yankees and the Orioles wrap up this 3-game set here in the Bronx. Coverage begins at 6 with Audi batting practice in the pregame and first pitch scheduled for 7:05 on Yes and the Yes app. Audi scoreboard has been all Orioles. They have 13 hits over 5 innings. Yankees just 1 hit over 4 innings. Zeppelin's still in there. It's going to be Rizzo, Volpe, and Torres. 8, 9, and 1 in the Yankees order. The only hit by the Yankees, Anthony Volpe's RBI single in the second. They have had 4 other base runners via the walk. Rizzo was one of them. And a strike. Foul back over the screen, 0-2. So we were talking Ripken, and it was brought to my attention, David, that you tried to give him a present for his final game, right?
I did, face him in his final game at Camden Yards. Rock Raines and his son were in that lineup as well. So I faced father and son duo in that game, and Cal Ripken, and I threw them all fastballs. I'm not going to throw any Laredos or try to strike him out. Sometimes the hardest thing to do is to throw a fastball down the middle when you're trying to.
Did he get a hit?
He did not. The first bat, he hit a line drive to left field that went right to the wall. If he would have got it up a little, it would have been a homer.
Coney's a team guy. Do you see that? It's like the old Mickey Mantle story.
Fly ball down the right field line. Foul. Yeah, Denny McLain supposedly grooved one for him.
Right. Didn't Pepitone say, "Can I have one of those?" He's like, "No, you ain't. You're not Mickey Mantle." I think Bill Freehan was catching Ted then.
That one is lined into left center field. A base hit for Rizzo.
Well, Anthony Rizzo, I mean, he'll choke up. He'll use the other side of the field. You're waiting for him to get comfortable enough where he starts to turn on some balls. And this last week is also important for him to go into the playoffs, knowing that he can drive the ball and be part of this offense.
Yes, absolutely.
One and 0. On Anthony.
Well, as a hitter, you got to take some pitches, and you got to try to build a big inning. And swinging 3-0 is not the time and place right now.
Yankees have quite the hill to climb. They're down by 7 here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Strike 2. Volpe didn't like that call.
Well, Eflin does have the ability to cover both sides of the plate. He's got the ball that comes in, and that's a cutter away right on the outside corner.
High fly ball, deep right field. Santander back. He's on the track, and he makes the play up against the wall for out number 1.
Again, off the bat on a warm night, you think this has got a chance. Santander makes it look easy, playing deep, kind of cruising towards the line, plenty of room.
Pretty good swing.
And he's hit a lot of balls in this series just from the weather kind of changing. And again, towards a label just a little bit. But still, good swing, went with the ball.
0-1 on Torres. Torres 2 fly balls to right. Ground ball and off the glove of Mountcastle. Kicks out to Westberg, and they get Glaber for the second out as Rizzo moves to second.
Getting a good at bat by Glaber. What are you going to do? You hit the ball the other way, try to hit the hole on the right side, and it just happens to ricochet for an out.
So here's Juan Soto. Soto walked and struck out. Told you he has great numbers against Eflin. Coming into this game, a .500 hitter. Fouled that one back.
It's so hard to bunch hits together nowadays, and the best way you can get back in it is a one big swing, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got to hit the long ball if you're the Yankees to make this competitive.
1-1,
and hopefully there's men on base when you do it. So if Soto gets on base here or does it, then you got that guy on deck. He's pretty good at hitting it over the wall.
Yeah, 56 is pretty good to have this time of year.
fly ball on the left side makes the seats.
You had a lot of talk too, and not only in these type of games, but in postseason play is how do you win games? And you need to play small ball. You need to bunch hits together, but it really comes down to home runs. But the other part of it is speed. You get to walk and steal some bases in today's game that lends itself to stolen bases. So this game has kind of turned into power and speed. Home runs have always been a big part of postseason play. If you think back even to the Yankees, Reggie Jackson's 3 home runs in the World Series, really kind of the story. Jim Leyritz's big home run in '96 off of Mark Wohlers.
Drill deep to right field. There it goes. See ya. There's the home run Coney was talking about. 2-run shot. It's 8-3-0s.
Michael, you were talking about his lifetime numbers against Eflin, and they're only going to go up. His 41st home run of the year, 106th and 107th RBI. They took a chunk out of it, but still a ways to go for the Yankees.
Got a little life now. And that's how you get it.
Judge cracks one to left field, but foul. Missed the pole.
Kind of shortened up, but again, this is a spinner right there. No doubt about it. He didn't crush it. I mean, this is 361. If he gets it all, he's way out of here, but plenty in the Bronx to get it into the seats.
Judge uses his timeout. Judge Moore. One and 2 on the Yankee captain.
As he just towards the label. But still, what a beautiful swing. This was Soto. Usually the ball's getting hit hard.
Notice his front foot when he comes up off his heel and kind of pivots there. So unique. Watch that front foot.
really drives with his legs. A lot of guys don't use their lower body. Juan Soto drives the ball in his hips with his legs.
I mean, it's something's got to give at some point. You know, you plant, and Paul, you know this, but how he stays back, his head doesn't move at all. You see that front foot kick out.
Yeah. I mean, that allows that leg and that torque just to open up through the ball and just drive it.
Judge goes from 0-2 to full.
Almost like Scotty Scheffler in golf, right?
Yeah.
His front leg kind of gets out of the way when he hits a bomb off the tee. But that's a pretty good graphic.
There's a base hit to left center field. Mullins gets the ball in. It's a single for Judge.
I think if you're the Yankees, you want to get Eflin out of the game because they have had issues with the bullpen. I mean, it took 6 relievers to get 12 outs last night. You see, that ball was squared so much it actually knuckled off the bat. It's a second hard hit ball off Aaron Judge's bat tonight.
Very similar styles when you think about it. Judge and Soto, no sway at all in their swings. Very quiet head.
Yeah, that's really important, Coney, when you're talking about that. You get head movement towards the pitcher. It just makes everything happen so much quicker. You know, it's so easy to say, wait, stay back, but you have such a tendency to want to go get the ball. And as soon as that head moves, a lot of bad things can happen.
Pitching coach Drew French talking with Zach Eflin. And this is their bullpen. They used 6 men yesterday, as Paul said, to get 12 outs. Everybody would be available because Monday was an off day. But you can impact tomorrow's game by how you make them use their bullpen tonight. So here's Austin Wells. He's 0 for 2, 4 for his last 39. Judge at first. 1-0. Saw Jacob Webb warming for the Orioles. Yankees trail 8-5. Check that, 8-3. They're down by 5. One and one. And the pitch. Holds up, 2-1.
To your point earlier, Paul, Soto's home run was a home run in one ballpark. This one was a line drive bullet. 361 feet, but this is the only place that's a homer.
The 2-1. 3-1. Stanton's on deck.
And if you're Austin Wells here, you have such a tendency to want another big swing and try to do too much. Eflin's a veteran pitcher. Not just going to give in and give you an inside fastball. You got to really stay with it. Keep the ball in the strike zone.
And he walked him. High pacing. Does he let Eflin face Stanton? Stanton's 0 for 1 with a walk against Zach Eflin. And here comes Hyde.
Yeah, Eflin with 92 pitches, and really he's kind of worked against his usual command, Coney. I don't think he had his great control tonight with the walks and missing with pitches, staying behind in this inning too.
Yeah, that's a great read. We pitched very carefully to the big guys generally.
We had an 8-1 lead, and he does not stay around long enough to get a win. He'll turn it over to the bullpen. Stanton's up next. Well, stream the hit new animated series on the Yes app. Join Riv, Bash, Oscar, and the Bronx Bugs gang for a baseball adventure around the Big Apple. Watch Hexclad presents Bronx Buds, now streaming exclusively on the Yes app. One swing away from making this very, very interesting. And Giancarlo Stanton, his 26 home run strides to the plate against this guy, making his 58th appearance, 1-5, 3.23. About a strikeout per inning. First and second. 2 men out. 0-1. He faced one batter last night, Webb did, and he struck out Stanton in the 6th inning. Stanton struck out 4 times last night, and that was his 30th golden sombrero of his career. He's 0 for 1 tonight with a walk and a run scored. One and two.
He's had 2 fastballs in this count that, you know, with good swings, but came up empty on both of them.
Lined and caught, knocked down by Henderson. And Stanton will reach with a single. Bases loaded. Henderson's quickness saved a run there.
This ball was absolutely scalded, though. I mean, this is just a line drive. Webb went with a breaking ball, and then Stanton got another good pitch to hit. Sometimes the balls just hit too hard to glove it. And that's an all-out effort there. And by diving, he actually kind of closed his glove, which didn't allow the ball to go in.
Bases loaded for Chisholm. Swings at the first pitch and lofts it to right field. Santander is there. Chisholm throws down the bat in disgust as the Yankees leave the bases loaded. But they get 2 runs on this swing off the bat of Juan Soto into the seats and right, his 41st of the year. And it's now 8-3 O's. As we go to the 6th inning, Montefiore Einstein scoreboard, Orioles 8, Yankees 3. Westberg will lead off against Cody Poteet, who came on to get the final out of the 5th. Pitch is inside. Westberg 1 for 3, single, run scored, 2 strikeouts. Two and 0.
There's certain things when you see somebody get an opportunity, you know, sometimes they just aren't ready, or, you know, they're not quite doing well enough. But, you know, Poteet did really well with the opportunity, and then you get injured. And that's got more frustrating than almost failing.
Grounded to Volpe. 1 away. Check out the Amtrak pitching matchup. This is the starters tonight. Eflin went 4 2/3. Stroman in an emergency start in place of Nestor Cortez, went 3 1/3, 10 hits. He pitched in some bad luck in the first inning, though.
But he gave up 6 hits in the first inning, a couple jam shots, a couple balls that, you know, could have been played differently. But you know what? It is what it is. When you look at the scoreboard, it's 8-3 right now.
Pitch to Santander is upstairs, 1 0. One on Santander.
To your point, Paulie, the Yankees like Poteet. You know, he did show himself very well earlier in the year and post-injury, but they had to make a difficult choice over Ron Marinaccio. They kind of lost him because Poteet's a little more versatile. He can start, eat some innings. And Ron Marinaccio had some value. He's picked up right away by the White Sox. He'll get another chance there probably at some point.
Fly ball left field coming on Dominguez. Makes the play. Well, we said the Orioles have a lot of hits, but the exit velocity not there is presented by Spectrum. So 13 hits, 11 singles, 2 doubles. Average exit velocity, 88.4. So it's not all about hitting the ball hard. It's hitting them where they ain't.
Yeah, exactly. And part of that, you got to factor in launch angle on that, too. You know, you can find the outfield grass. The difference between ground balls and being able to dig pitches out and get them over the infield.
I mean, a couple of those balls were hit hard, so it kind of brings up the average of the exit velocity. But to put it into context, that last ball that Stanton hit, that rocket, was 115. So you base that on, what, high 80s is their average.
Well, according to StatCast tonight, the expected batting average of the Orioles off of Yankee pitching is .392.
Wow.
And the Yankees on the other end is .383. So the Yankees kind of a little bit in bad luck. And their hard hit balls went right at them. And we talked about the directional nature of this game sometimes is not controllable, or the batting average on balls in play can have a luck factor to it.
2-2.
That works both ways for hitters and pitchers. We tend to look at that from the hitter's side. What is my batting average on balls in play when I make contact? What is that sustainable, or am I a little bit over my skis, or a little bit unlucky? It's same on the pitcher side too.
Tipped into the glove of Wells, and Poteet retires the side in order. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. Check out the T-Mobile coverage cam. We go back 10 years. Derek Jeter hits one in the right. Antoine Richardson scores. And that's Jeter's last at bat at Yankee Stadium. And really, did you have any doubt? And they gave out the bobblehead today, trying to recreate that look when Derek was celebrating the walk-off hit.
Keep that up, Troy. I better take a picture and send that.
Guys,
Cheat, really?
He tweeted out today, it's hard to believe it has been 10 years. Michael, it's crazy to think that has been 10 years. There you go, Paul.
It takes me a while to work my phone here. I'll probably get no response anyway.
Line drive, and it is a foul ball off the bat of Dominguez. Dominguez is 0 for 2 tonight. Two strikes on Jason. It'll be the bottom third of the order. Dominguez, Rizzo, and Volpe. 8-3, Orioles, bottom of the 6th. Chopped slowly to first base. Going to be a close play. Safe. Dominguez beat it out. Hustling down the line. It was not hit hard. And he gets an infield single.
I'm sure we're going to look at a replay here, but he looked like he was safe. Yeah. Cody, and we were talking about, with his body type, I mean, he's got really good speed.
Yes, that's part of his game, power and speed.
So here's Rizzo. Leadoff single by Dominguez. Yankees 6th hit.
You see, as a lefty, when you roll over a ball, you kind of end up on your front foot, which gets you out of the box pretty quick. You get down the line again. When you're digging for a hit, it just seems like you just can't run fast enough. But he got there.
Well, that was 4:04 seconds to first base, and 30.8 feet per second according to StatCast, which is elite speed. Anything when you're covering 30 feet per second, that is top shelf speed in Major League Baseball, and Dominguez certainly showed it right there.
One and two.
Two swing and a misses on changeups, back-to-back changeups. See Anthony Rizzo starting to really choke up with 2 strikes.
Haven't seen that since Rusty Staub.
Felix Beyond, Dick
Yes.
McCullough, yeah.
The Grand Larange used to have that right there.
It was almost automatic. Those hitters were, you were taught to choke up with 2 strikes. Gives you a little more, a little more control of the bat.
Rizzo strikes out looking, not thrilled.
That was a tough one. Get another look, but Paulie, I don't think you'd be too happy getting rung up on this.
No, this is off the plate, up and away. That's just a tough pitch to really cover. Everything had been down in the strike zone. You want it? I don't want it as a ball.
I'll take it. Got a little rug burn on the upper right side.
Call the strike, 1-1. One and two.
Kind of a tough spot for Dominguez at first. I mean, the stolen base is there for him, but you're down by 5 runs. You got to be sure.
Yeah, especially as a young player, you're out there trying not to make mistakes.
Slow ground ball on the broken bat. There's one. No return throw.
Anthony won't be blowing on those hands. It's just cool enough where you get one off the end of the bat. Like that one right there, broken bat, and it kind of buzzes the hands a little bit.
Bowman and Coulomb. Foul back to the screen by Torres. He's 0 for 3. Webb on a relief of Eflin.
Big at bat right here for Gleyber to try to get on base.
Nubbed up the first baseline. Kicks foul.
For obvious reasons with the big 2 coming up next. We talked about home runs getting you back into this. You hope those home runs come in mid on base, so you got a chance here if Gleyber can get on to present the opportunity for a 3-run homer or more.
Still 0-2.
I thought Jazz Chisholm just missed his ball. With the bases loaded, a lot of people would say, you swing at the first pitch, but sometimes the first pitch is the best one you see. And he got under it just a bit.
Yeah, and, you would kind of think, wow, you went out of the strike. That was a really good pitch to hit. He just got under it, just missed it.
1-2.
shortstop down in Texas that does that really well. First pitch is actually a new stat this year called the Seager stat, meaning how many pitches do you take down the middle of the plate? And he never does. When you get a good pitch, you swing.
Grounded to third, and that will do it. No runs a hit, no errors, and one man left on base. We go to the seventh. This chiropractic telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. We go to the seventh inning. It's all Orioles. They lead 8-3, 8-13-0, leading 3-6-1. Cody Poteet, third Yankee pitcher. Stroman, Clayton Beeter, and now Cody Poteet. All in one. Oh, 2. Check out the Rolaids relief stats. Yankee relievers last 17 games, 1.33 ERA. Opponents hitting 163 against them, 74 strikeouts and 61 innings pitched. One and two. Two. Minnesota leading Miami 3-2, top of the sixth inning. Kansas City beats Washington 3-0. Detroit leading Tampa Bay 7-1 in the top of the ninth. And Mountcastle swings and misses.
Kind of see that two-seam grip and the running action on. Even though it's up, it's boring in on Mountcastle, and a whirly-bird swing that clips Wells on the backswing. Now we get some great shots of the spin coming out of the pitcher's hand. You could really see the spin axis. And on the backside, you want to be a catcher, huh? Doink. Luckily, he's fine.
One and one. On O'Hearn. O'Hearn is 1 for 3. In the seventh inning, second game of this three-game set, Yankee Magic numbers at 1 to clinch the AL East. Three and one.
You know, of all the teams out there in contention, A.J. Hinch is doing some kind of managerial job with the Tigers.
Fly ball, left center. Judge retires O'Hearn.
You know, part of that is, as we mentioned in last night's telecast, that, you know, Jack Flaherty was traded to the Dodgers. So he's had to employ an opener strategy several times a week. You have the Cy Young Award winner, obviously, and Tarek Skubal, who's great. But 2 or 3 times through the circuit, through every time around the rotation, you're employing an opener strategy.
Urias with a fly ball to center field. And Judge will put it away for the final out. So Poteet has pitched well. He's retired all 7 O's that he's faced. The end of 6 1/2. It is time for the 7th inning stretch. Orioles lead the Yankees 8-3, but will stay right here as they honor America in the Bronx.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you rise and remove your caps and please direct your attention to the area behind home plate as the New York Yankees welcome honored military guests. United States Naval Aviator celebrating his 80th birthday today, Captain Michael Gray from Portland Manor, New York, who served from 1967 to 1997. The Yankees say thank you, Michael, for your sacrifice and service to our nation. And now, please join us in singing along with Robert Merrill's rendition of God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her. Throw the light with the light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the ocean, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
1 2 outs into the 5th. Stroman 1 out into the 4th. Big day for Henderson, and Juan Soto with a 2-run home run. His 41st blast of the year. That was in the 5th inning. And he leads off here in the bottom of the 7th. And the new pitcher for the Orioles, Danny Coulombe. Lefty against lefty. And a strike.
Solid year for Danny Coulombe.
Well, the much maligned Oriole bullpen did its job yesterday and trying to close it out today. Coulombe came back Friday after missing over 3 months, went on the IL with elbow inflammation. And it turned out to be bone chips in his elbow that needed surgery. Two and two. Popped up on the left side. Urias giving it a look, but plenty deep.
Coulombe really reminded me of a lot of left-handed pitchers that you used to face, where you see so many breaking balls that the fastball, it beats you, and you see Soto was beat by that fastball because you see so many curveballs early in the count.
That's a knuckle curve. Obviously, he's not throwing at him. Didn't break.
This is even worse because you pick up the spin and you expect it to go away from you, and it starts taking off at you.
Soto trying to get on base for Judge. Foul back. You see Coulomb with the blue glove. He wears the blue glove to raise awareness for autism. Three-two. Hit sharply, almost knocked down Westberg, but he stays with it, one away.
What a great at bat. I mean, and then you just hammer one. And we talked earlier that, you know, the Yankees actually, they're getting kind of beat up here, down by 5, but they've actually hit into some bad luck. Another ball just stung. Nothing for it.
An announced crowd of 41,010 on this Wednesday evening. Hit sharply to third. Urias stays with it and gets Judge to the second out. Now it's time to name that Yankee, brought to you by Prevagen. These are the clues. Those are the teams. And the answer, well, let's buy a vowel. Scott Kamieniecki.
Cammy, oh my goodness. I'm almost embarrassed, Cody.
I thought about him, and then I kind of forgot about the question in a couple innings, and we got back to it quick.
You forgot your Prevagen too, huh?
I tried to cheat, and I went on Baseball Reference to look up the roster, and I still couldn't cough it out in time.
America's heroes need your help. Donate $11 a month to the Tunnel to Towers Foundation at T2T.org. One and two on Wells.
Scott Kamieniecki started Game 4 in 1995 in the famous series, the Mariners and Yankees. And that's when I knew Edgar Martinez was a Hall of Famer, because Kamieniecki threw a two-seam fastball, almost hit him.
He took it down the left field line.
He kept it fair and hit a homer down the left field line. That's when we knew we were in trouble. Won the first 2 games at home, and then lost the next 3.
I remember that game too, because we got an early lead,
5-0,
and it was driving me nuts because Cammy was nibbling. It's just like I'm screaming in the outfield, throw the ball over the plate. You got a 5-run lead, but when you look at that Kingdome, I mean, 5 runs could go away in a heartbeat.
Hated that place.
Oh, me too. It's just I was the only hitter who didn't like it, I think.
That was the game that they brought in Wetland, and Wetland just couldn't get the Mariners out. That's why the next game, in Game 5, they went with Jack McDowell to try to close it.
Whenever I get in a bad mood, I just pull up on YouTube the implosion of the Kingdome and just watch it just fall to the ground and immediately feel better.
Check swing.
They're pushing the button. No?
Yes.
You remember what used to drive me crazy is, okay, so I was hit third, right? So they would announce their team, and they would set off the fireworks inside the dome. So I'm going to the plate in the first inning, and it's all smoky. I'm like, it's almost cheating.
High fly ball. Right center, Mullins back. He has room and puts it away for the final out. Yankees go down in order against Cologne. Now we go to the 8th. By Bet365, whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. By Ford, the official SUV of the Yankees. And by Delta, the official airline of the New York Yankees. Delta, keep climbing. Hyundai scoreboard, 8-3 Orioles over the Yankees. Grounded shortly and inside first and down the right field line. Mullins takes off. Going for second. Soto digs it out of the corner and flips it back in. Leadoff double for Cedric Mullins.
Hey, Anthony Rizzo just playing off the line. No chance. Ball hammered right down the line.
Well, here's McCann, and Rizzo in on the grass expecting a bunt with the Orioles up by 5. That one is lined over the leaping try of Gleyber Torres, a base hit. Mullins will stop at third. Soto runs it in and then flips it to Volpe. I was odd thinking that they would bunt up 5. So first and third, nobody out.
And dangerous.
Yeah, swinging the bat when you're about 15 feet from me, that's not a good feeling. Hey, balls have just been out of the reach of the Yankees tonight.
That's 2 by McCann right there. Very similar. Right over Gleyber.
Yankees play back for the double play. Henderson swings and misses.
You know, Michael, when we were doing games before you went to the West Coast, you remember the Yankees were up 3 games. And you were thinking, you know, this is going to be this huge series. All of a sudden, you're lucky you did some work on the road.
Yes.
Because yeah, things would be getting a little hairy around here right now, the way this series is going so far.
And they look like a different team now that they're fully healthy and got their guys back, including Westberg at second base.
The 1-1. So, you know, we're talking about this being the 10th anniversary of Jeter's final hit.
Yeah.
And this big thing in Baja Mar this weekend with, you know, did you guys get invited?
Oh, he's got a big golf tournament down there.
Yeah, but I didn't see pictures of you guys there.
Well, some of us got to work, Michael. You know? We even flew Coney in from the south to do this big series.
Baja Mar, Bronx.
Baja Mar in the Bahamas. If you've never heard of it.
Grounded foul. Well, he had some big stars there, I'll tell you that.
It's a great golf tournament. And you know what? It's been around for a while. He actually took it. Michael Jordan had it originally in the Bahamas. Then he went to Vegas with it. Then Derek took it over. And then now he's back in the Bahamas with it. So just a great event. Over the years, I've played in it a few times. It's, you know, you're in awe of the people that go down there, believe me.
You know, Jeter started that foundation early in his career, the Turn 2 Foundation, and got his family involved in it. And of all the athletes who start foundations, that's one of the best ones. He's done amazing work and raised a lot of money, done a lot of good for kids in the community. No eyewash there.
Swing and a miss. Henderson down on strikes, 1 away.
Again, a four-seamer, but he gets around it a little bit. Huh? Coney, not a true cutter, but he keeps the velocity up and has a little movement.
Yeah, 94 miles an hour up and out. Gets the chase. He's got an idea of what to do. Every pitch kind of has a purpose. He's a pitcher.
Westberg fouls it back. Well, the Yankees signed him during the offseason. I had somebody in baseball call me and said that's one of the more shrewd signings any team has made. But then he ended up getting hurt. He got off to a good start, but then got hurt, and he's been on the shelf for a while. And now finally back here.
We've seen so many injuries in today's game on the pitching side because of the chase for velocity. And the pitchers like this are going to come back full circle. They're going to become a commodity again just by necessity. Pitchers that can pitch, more craftsmen.
That one is looped into center field. It is a base hit. Mullins will score. McCann goes to second. RBI single for Westberg, and it's 9-3 Orioles. Out-of-town score brought to you by Defender, legendary capability off-road and on. Marlins have tied the Twins 3-3 top of the 7th inning, and the Twins are just giving it away. They just can't right the ship.
Yeah, they didn't count on the Tigers.
No.
Chasing them down and passing them up. And yeah, they're going to be left on the outside.
All of a sudden, Kansas City, they had lost 7 in a row, and now they've won back-to-back games. So they might. Again, I think that we talked about it last night. Full season surprise Kansas City, second part of the year. Definitely Detroit. They just came from nowhere.
It's very rare when an organization essentially gives up trading one of its best pitchers and then makes a run.
Yeah, Cody, you were talking earlier about A.J. Hinch there, and at some point as a manager, you have to make players believe that you're good enough to win, and you know that's very hard to do. You can say it, but you know until you start doing it, players take the field and like, you know, we're not winning. We can't compete with these other teams, and in the back of your mind, until you turn that switch off, now it's like they take the field and they expect to win.
They decided to play the kids. Sometimes the kids don't know any better, right?
Exactly.
They just play. They swing and they play the game.
Rizzo's going to take it to first for the second out as the runners move up. Also, another thing that no one would have predicted: 3 playoff teams from the Central.
Yeah, that just never happened.
Nope. And part of that could be all the teams beat up on the White Sox.
Yeah. Where are the White Sox? Have they broke the record?
Not yet. They're at 120. It's 3-2. They're leading the Angels in the 7th.
They're fighting hard not to break that record.
Well, they're tied right now, so they share the record.
I don't like their chances of winning out at this point.
You know, and this is more of a balanced schedule too. You know, in the unbalanced schedule era of a couple years ago, that used to hold more weight. In terms of beating up on your own division, because you play your division more often. That's not necessarily the case as much anymore. But
Detroit 9-1 against the White Sox, 3 left to go. Kansas City 12-1, Minnesota 12-1.
Yeah, it's a lot of wins in the win column.
Were they all bumping heads there? That didn't really matter to those 3 teams.
Yeah, but it matters to the other teams in the other divisions.
Yeah. Yes,
because if you look, Tampa Bay hasn't given up. They're winning games, but these other teams just got fat on the White Sox. And the Rays ended up going 2-4 against the White Sox, so that hurt them.
In the unbalanced schedule, that would have been even more.
It was at 18 games.
You had to play 18 at least.
Yeah, he's 19 actually.
And there's a walk to Cowser.
I really didn't like playing a team 19 times. It gets old. I think it causes problems too, because you know if anything ever happens early in the year, there's going to be trouble when you're playing a team 19 times, and especially if you're the team winning, you know, 13, 14 of them.
It's nice to be able to play the Dodgers, right? If you're the Yankees, or play everybody.
You can make anything possible because you have a connection that's built for everywhere. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum.
Paul, I'm thinking, you know, you and David might have brought some bad, you know, mojo, because on the West Coast, I had them 5-1.
You were rocking. I think we had a good homestand last night.
We did.
Coney, it's all on you, I guess. Huh? You slept rock over there.
Brought that black cloud with me right over my head.
There's Mountcastle. 1-0.
In other words, you were strutting off the plane when you got back. Huh?
No, no one was strutting off that plane at 3 in the morning.
Yeah, that's usually when you're crawling. Certain things of the game you don't miss anymore. You know, remember the year that something was happening to LaGuardia? Every time we had to land late, it was over in Newark. We landed in Newark at like 4 in the morning, had to drive to the stadium, sun be coming up.
Remember the year we were coming back from the West Coast and they landed at the wrong
That was the greatest
airport
flight ever, because I live in Westchester. I got off the plane, I'm like, this is wonderful.
Yeah, there were no buses there. They were all at Newark.
I could have walked home. might have been the last time we had that pilot, though.
And when you land at the wrong airport, that's not a good sign.
He didn't have Waze. It didn't work.
Remember, Mark Connor was the pitching coach.
Yeah.
He got the wind. He goes, "There are no trees at Newark." 2-2 on Mountcastle. Bases loaded with Orioles. Well, that'll start the merry-go-round. 3-2, 2 outs. Runners go. Foul ball. 16 hits for Baltimore. They lead 9-3. Mark Leiter Jr. You wonder, after pitching so long tonight, do they have to bring up somebody else to do this job tomorrow? And what move do they have if they send Poteet out? Fly ball right field. Soto is there, and that will do it. Orioles get a run. 3 hits. The bases left loaded. We go to the bottom of the 8th. After the final, I'll get highlights, analysis, clubhouse interviews, and we'll hear from Aaron Boone on the manager's report. It's all coming up on the WB Mason Yankees postgame. Well, we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Gregory Soto, we saw him yesterday, will come on. Stanton, Chisholm, and Dominguez. '65th game for Soto.
Cody, don't give me his scouting report. Yesterday you told me Soto, he throws hard and it's all over the place.
Yes.
Scoreless inning last night. Retired Wells, Stanton, and Chisholm. Got him from the Phillies in a deadline deal. Has not pitched well since the deal. 5.51 ERA in 21 games with the Orioles. Yankees know him from his time with the Tigers. All-star twice with Detroit. Stanton swings and misses. There's a guy who's going to start tomorrow. Garrett Cole. Swing and a miss. Cole coming off just an electric start where he could have pitched a no-hitter. That's how well he pitched. Gave up just 2 hits in 1 inning. Comes in with a 3.67 ERA, and he's facing the Orioles ace, Corbin Burns. He's thrown 189 in the 3rd innings already this year. 2.95 ERA, good pitching matchup. And Nestor Cortez goes on the IL today. Left elbow flexor strain. Oh, 2 on Chisholm. Swing and a miss. Chisholm down on strikes. 2 away here in the 8th.
You're right, Coney. He throws hard. This was 98, just outside the strike zone up. Hard to catch up from a left-hander.
Especially up there. Still the hardest pitch to hit, the high, hard one like that with something on it.
Dominguez batting from the right side, takes inside 1-0. Infield single his last time up. He's 1 for 3. Chopped to short. Henderson. gets Dominguez to the final out as the Yankees go down in order, and we go to the ninth. Another out-of-town score brought to you by Defender, legendary capability off-road and on. Talking about the Tigers and what a run they're on. 7-1 Tigers over the Rays. Well, you go to the wild card and you start the first game with Tarek Skubal. You like your chances, so if you're the Tigers, you want to close this out before having to use Skubal on Sunday, and then you could start him first game of the wild card on Tuesday, and that increases your chances of advancing. It'll be between Skubal and Clase for the Cy Young. Mark Leiter Jr. takes over. Ryan O'Hearn will lead off.
The Tigers used 7 pitchers today in that 7-1 game, including their young top prospect they just called up, Jackson Jobe. Throws about 101.
That's all?
They say, let's bring him up. We might need him now. He closed it out in the last inning. I think that was his major league debut. One of the top young arms in the game now, up with the Tigers.
And you got to give a lot of credit to Al Avila, who was let go as a GM, but a lot of this team is his. Jackson Jobe was actually a draft pick of Al. 2-1 on O'Hearn. All right, so here's an interesting scenario. I'll ask both of you guys this. Let's say Detroit's up 1 with 1 to play. You're facing the White Sox. Do you hold back Skubal and say, hey, we can beat the White Sox without Skubal?
You know what? I might, because if you're up 1, the worst you could do is go to a tiebreaker, and you'd have to use Skubal. There's no doubt about it. So you'd have 2 options. Either he plays a tiebreaker, or he starts the first game of the playoffs. But that'd be a tough to fit. AJ Hinch, he's getting paid for these decisions.
Yeah, no, I would hold him back if it were me.
Yeah.
Because they've been employing, as I mentioned a couple of times, that opener strategy has served them well. So of all the teams out there prepared for that kind of a strategy to hold back my ace just in case, the Tigers are probably as well as prepared as anybody to do that.
White Sox had their 37th win last night. The Yankees had their 37th win on May 25th at the Padres. Mets and the Braves tonight, tomorrow postponed. And San Diego turned a game-ending triple play against the Dodgers last night to clinch a playoff berth. Swing and a miss.
Hey, you're talking about Skubal and the Cy Young. Well, you go on the other end, and the Mets in Atlanta. Unbelievably big series, and Atlanta is going to have Sale pitch one of those games, obviously.
No, it might not, because Sale was supposed to pitch today. He's going to have the pitch on Friday. So then you lose him for that doubleheader. If they need those games, you've lost Sale and Fried.
Oh boy.
Here's Urias.
Back-to-back rainouts in the last week of the season.
Yeah, that's his bad luck right there.
And Friday is against Kansas City, so that's no great thing for the Royals. And then there's no guarantee that Kansas City can get into Atlanta on Friday. And the Mets did not fly out tonight. They have to fly out tomorrow because they didn't have hotel rooms in Milwaukee for them. And that's supposed to be the worst part of the hurricane tomorrow, and they have to fly out in the morning.
Oh boy.
What a mess.
What a mess. Sound like my granddaughter now. That's what she said. What a mess.
One and two on Urias. Swing and a miss. Urias down on strikes.
You'd really love to see this start to become a reality for Leiter. He came over, he got off to a good start, but he has not had that good split finger. That was a good one there. would slip out almost like a fork ball and just dive down for a swing and a miss.
It is more forkball-like, that wide split, and kind of a four-seam grip, a different take on how he tries to throw it.
Now you assume, 4 games remaining. Yankees are going to win a game to clinch the AL East, but what's hanging in the balance now with the Guardians winning, their lead over the Guardians is 1 game for the best record in the American League, which means home field advantage throughout the postseason. And listen, if they don't get 1 win of the next 4 and the Orioles win out, well, it's on them.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You come home knowing you only have to win 1 game. I mean, you'd love to see it get over. It's just that Baltimore has shown up to play. And I think, to your point, Coney, I think it's because they've got a lot of their players back. And they're a different team than they were the last month.
And Mullins dunks one into right field, having a real good day. 3 for 4 with a walk.
To put this in perspective, Baltimore, the way they've been playing with, the injuries, they have not beat a team over 500 since early July. They beat Seattle July 2nd through the 4th. I mean, that is a long time to put together not beating a decent team.
Now, one positive for the Yankees in their quest to have the best record in the American League, they hold the tiebreaker over the Guardians. So I say they're up by 1, but they're really up by 2 because the Guardians have to finish ahead of the Yankees in order to take the #1 spot. You getting all this, Paul? Because we're going to quiz you tomorrow.
You know what? I'm glad you told me. I'll study it when I go home.
All right.
Go over it over again.
Two on McCann, runner at first, 2 outs. Yankees up. Yankees down by 6. And a tip into the glove of Wells. 3 strikeouts for Leiter in the 9th. We go to the bottom of the 9th, 9-3. Play of the game, David.
Well, it happened early. You got to go way back to the first inning. Colton Cowser launches one down the line. Dominguez overruns it. It ends up bouncing up and doing some damage, and really kind of was the key play early in this game that set everything up for the O's from Colton Cowser.
Yeah, we scored a 2-run single, but obviously it was a misplay by Dominguez as the Yankees go to the bottom of the 9th inning down by 6. Another pitcher, Matt Bowman, will come on. Bowman's on his 4th team this season. Pitched in 5 games for the Twins, then traded to the Diamondbacks, 5 games with Arizona in May, released, signed with the Mariners, then released again after 1 game, signed back with the Twins, released again in August, and now he's here with the Orioles. Rather than feel rejected, he should feel a lot of people want me.
Yeah, that's that half glass full, huh, Mike?
Mm-hmm. The life of a major league reliever in today's game.
Oh, 2. Rizzo 1 for 2 with a walk. Scored one of the Yankees 3 runs. Grounded up the middle and not handled there by Westberg. And that allows Rizzo to reach. That'll be a single.
Again, with the shifts, a lot of easy plays become hard plays. Westberg tries to stab this one, was not able to glove it.
Here's Volpe, 1 for 3. And a strike. 12 games with the Orioles. Bowman has a 0.69 ERA. And it was 5.40 with those other teams. Fouled away. One and two. Grounded foul outside of third. You know, one of the things that's bedeviled the Yankees all year, they just won their 50th game on the road, which is quite an accomplishment to go 50-32 or 50-31 on the road. But they have not done as well at home as you would think that they should do. They have really struggled here in the Bronx, and the crowds have been great. They're averaging over 40,000 a game as Volpe down on strikes. And, you know, we keep talking about them playing for the home field advantage all the way through, but home field, it hasn't been an advantage.
Yeah, most teams put their team together really to play at your home ballpark. And if you look at the, you know, the Yankees, they should match up well here. And it just, they 42-35
if they lose tonight. Yep.
They lose tonight. So it's, yeah, it's not their usual self.
Pitch is high to Torres. And they also have not done as well in their division as they have in the past.
You know, all valid points. I mean, the Yankees really dominated the American League Central this year. 24-7 versus them.
There's a base hit off the bat of Gleyber Torres. Rizzo moves to second.
You know, the other thing is against left-handed pitching, too. They're 20-23 against left-handed pitching. At least left-handed starters this year.
Yeah, that's one that you know, you kind of scratch your head about, Coney, because you know, their lefties hit lefties, and Judge and Stanton should really negate any kind of thing against lefties, but they just have not played well so far against the lefties.
So here's Soto. 2-run home run in the 5th inning. 1 for 3 with a walk. Take a look at that home run on StatCast 3D by Google Cloud. 109.4 off the bat, 361 feet, and is the only ballpark in the big leagues that would have been a home run. One and one. Now, he has a career high of 41 home runs, but you can't say this ballpark has helped him a great deal because it's taken a lot of home runs away from him in left center, and that's where his power is.
Yeah, he has not changed. If you watch him day in and day out, has not changed the way he goes about hitting. He still hammers the ball to left center field. He's reached the seats here a few times, but it's a different ballpark for lefties and righties here.
Well, Brandon Hyde's not messing around. He has his closer up in the bullpen, Sir Anthony Dominguez, alongside Keegan Aiken. Doesn't want the Yankees to get any ideas. Rizzo's at second, Torres at first. 2-2. There's a line drive base hit to right field. Rizzo's going to be waved home. The throw is into second. It's an RBI single for Soto. Moving to third is Torres, and the Yankees are now down by 5.
All of a sudden, you see Juan Soto starting to heat up. I mean, he's having better swings. Hit the home run before. Big hit last night off Cano, and now another line drive to right field. So his swing starting to come around again.
Kind of a funny scene. Rizzo said, hey, base to base, we're down by 6, and he was jogging into third, but Santander was not charging, and Luis Rojas really had to get Rizzo going to score, because that was not where the throw was going to go. Here's Judge, first and third. One and 0. Big cut on the breaking ball, 1-1. Judge 1 for 3 with a walk tonight. Fouled off the end of the bat, 1-2. So Soto with 3 ribbies tonight. He's at 108 on the season. Judge 139. Trying to become the first major leaguer with 140 or more ribbies in a season since 2009, when Fielder and Ryan Howard did it. Prince Fielder and Ryan Howard. They each had 141. So the count is full. Yankees trying for an unlikely rally here in the bottom of the 9th. Fouled away.
Kind of see Bowman get frustrated there. He made a good slider. Judge fouled it off. Now you got to do it again.
And the 3-2. High fly ball, deep left center. Cowser back, track, wall, see ya! A 3-run home run for Judge, number 57, and the Yankees are down by just 2. Straight games with a home run.
Well, you know what? Again, you have to sit back, relax, and enjoy what you're seeing with Aaron Judge. It's a towering 412-foot home run, 4 consecutive games. 57, 142. That's pretty good numbers, huh, Coach?
What a player. What a player.
A breaking ball. I mean, you cannot sit on a breaking ball 3-2, and it really, it had a lot of the plate, but still, it had some action on it. But Aaron Judge just shot it into the bullpen.
Little gift for the fans that stayed around.
That's exactly right. That's a problem when you throw those 3-2 breaking balls, Coney. Sometimes you throw them for a strike. You have to in a 3-2 count, and you get a little bit too much of the plate.
That is his 94th extra base hit. That's the most by a Yankee in one season since Joe DiMaggio hit 96 extra base hits back in 1937. And there have been only 3 Yankees with 93 or more extra base hits in a season. Their names: Ruth, Gehrig, and DiMaggio. I mean, we could just keep reading these incredible stats off, connecting him to the greats of the game.
Yeah, it's amazing because you use those graphics early in the year, and you think, things will cool off. They have not cooled off for a few years now for Aaron Judge.
Well, this swing knocks out Bowman, his 57th home run of the year, and it will bring in Keegan Aiken. With 1 out in the 9th inning, Yankees now just down by 2.
A majestic shot. 6.3 seconds of hang time. Make Ray Guy proud.
We mentioned first player to have 140 more ribbies in a season in the big since 2009, when Fielder and Howard had 141. So Judge is at 142 with that 3-run blast. Wells against Aiken. Getting interesting. 1-0. What's left of the crowd, they're very invested. Pretty good year right there.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
He's so locked in. I mean, you can't predict things that never could have happened because he was injured. But if he doesn't run into that wall in Dodger Stadium, he was having another great year, and it would have been 3 unbelievable seasons in a row. Or at least that's the way to bet.
I agree 100%. You talk about changing the team. I mean, they were winning at the point when Aaron Judge, hit his toe last year, and then they're just a different team. What he does, I said it last night, what he does for a team, I don't know that I've ever seen a player have that much effect on the team.
1-2. 2-2 on Wells, trying to work his way on and give Stanton an opportunity to tie the game. This batter is so important because you bring in the lefty to face him, and then the lefty has to face Stanton because you have to face the 3 batters. This is a hugely important at bat. Wells with a good eye. He's walked once already tonight. 3-2.
Oh, Aiken went with the slider, 3-2. I was able to just foul it off.
That one is looped into left field. Who's going to get it? Here comes Cowser. He makes the play for the 2nd out.
And boy, off the bat, you thought that was going to be trouble. Cowser, yesterday, we looked at his defensive alignment. He plays way shallow and towards the line and kind of takes away this little blooper.
He's got some speed and power. Right in the middle of the Rookie of the Year running right now.
Stanton takes low, 1-0. Chisholm's on deck. Against Aiken, Stanton is 0 for 6 with 2 strikeouts. He's 1 for 3 with a walk tonight. This should do it. Popped up. And Westberg makes the play, and the Orioles hold on, and they win this one 9-7. Aaron Judge gave us all a little bit of a thrill with that 3-run home run in the 9th, his 57th of the year, but Too many things went wrong for the Yankees for them to win this one.
Yeah, they kind of dug a hole early in the game. Marcus Stroman not being able to really get through the first couple innings without putting them in a hole. And the one thing you have done, which you didn't expect, is you've given Baltimore an opportunity. They are 4-8 now against the Orioles. So you've told them that, you know what, you don't have to be overly concerned if you end up playing the Yankees down the road.
They have played the Yankees tough this year. They're a good young team, and they're fully healthy again. Yankees still looking at one more win to clinch the division, get another shot tomorrow night.
Orioles win 9-7. They win the series. They've won the season series against the Yankees, but as David said, one more win, they clinch the East.